Are Red Bull falling apart in front of our very eyes? A dramatic statement to open a video with, I know. But we have just had today Jonathan Wheatley, long-term sporting director at Red Bull Racing. 18 years he's been at that team. Highly influential in making them the team and what they are today. Has announced, or Red Bull in particular, have announced he's going to be leaving at the end of this year before going on gardening leave to join Audi F1 as their team principal. Now, funny thing is, Audi still haven't put out a statement confirming this, but quite evidently, I imagine it's reliable information and true. But regardless, this is another influential key member leaving Red Bull. Why is that? Why is it? Now, people will firstly say, oh, he just wants to go be the main man. He wants to go be team principal of a team. He wants to be the leader and not the right-hand man. Wants to be the bride, not the bridesmaid. You know, people are forgetting that another key member, long-term key member, very influential in this Red Bull team, has announced he's leaving. Adrian Newey. That is very peculiar. Is it coincidental? I don't think so. I don't think it is. Now, of course, we know what happened at the start of this year with the scandal with Christian Horner, and there's been a lot that has come out of that in regards to a certain power struggle between both sides, both controlling stakes at the Red Bull team, which is the Mattisfitz family. Apologies if I've mispronounced that name. The Red Bull family, in the essence, the founders, and then the 51%, I believe it is, majority stakeholder, which is the Thai element, Thai company. Apologies, name passes me by, but there is a power struggle there. One who founded the company and still has a large stake, but not the controlling stake, and then an investor at the end of the day from the other side of the world, who owns the company in an essence. And Christian Horner, with everything that came out with Christian Horner, who is an investor and is a part owner of Red Bull Racing himself, there was different sides of support supposedly for Christian Horner. One wanted him to go and one wanted him to stay. Not a surprise that it was the controlling stakeholder who wanted Christian Horner to stay, hence why he's still there. And supposedly that's rolled up a lot of people and influential people within Red Bull. In particular, Adrian Newey, that's one of the reasons why supposedly he has left. It's not been publicly announced or confirmed, but it has been highly rumoured from people that who are supposedly close to him, have said he is disillusioned with Red Bull. It's not the team that it once was for him, considering he's been there for 2 decades. Jonathan Wheatley, could this be the same reason? Has he become disillusioned with Red Bull and that's why he's decided to go elsewhere? Also, was he headhunted? Was he approached by Audi, or did he go looking for it? These are key questions that kind of need answering, and I just think that even without those particular answers, sometimes it's not difficult to read between the lines. Like, it's really not, to connect the dots when you've got 2 members of a team leaving within the same year, not long after what happened with Christian Horner. And fair play to the PR team, because they've done a great job in brushing this all under the rug, haven't they? Because no one's really even spoken about it for months. But I think it needs to be mentioned because they didn't have these issues before this year. There wasn't this talk about power struggles, about influential key members wanting to leave or even leaving. Like, there just wasn't before this happened at the start of the year. And I love this saying, and it is, people don't leave bad jobs. They leave bad managers, poor management. And that is the case for any industry across the world. And I think that's what we're seeing right now, is that we have just seen 2 key personnel this year announce that they are leaving because they've become disillusioned with the management. And no doubt they're probably friends with Horner as well. And look, relationships can break down even with friends who you've known for donkey's years, because they may have done something that you don't agree with morally and professionally. And that is maybe why Nui and Wheatley are leaving. But this is just the icing on top of the cake, really, in regards to what is happening at Red Bull, because they could kind of like brush this under the rug when they were performing and dominating, which they did at the start of this season. But now they're not dominating out on circuit. And we're now starting to see Max Verstappen get more and more agitated. Hungary even took a lot of people back, even his own fans, in regards to how aggressive he was against the team that is so great on strategy. It was their first kind of mistake in strategy for years, in my personal opinion. And he was so aggressive, which took myself and a lot of people back. And I thought, is there more to this than we think? Like him being called childish by GP, we know that they have a brother relationship, but that seemed to be a little bit more aggressive from both sides, more than normal. And I wonder if, of course, with the rumours of Max's camp talking to Mercedes openly courting Max Verstappen and those strong links there and rumours, I wonder if it's because all is not well at Red Bull. And even previous staff members of Red Bull online are quoting the same thing, saying, wow, all is not well. And I just don't think it's difficult to see it, difficult to read between the lines. And look, they have just announced they are not getting rid of Sergio Perez. They're not replacing him. He is underperformed. Can't deny that. He is underperformed. Even if he finished second in the championship, that he has done. He only just finished second in the championship because even though he was in the most dominant car in F1 history, this is what people are just completely disregarding. He's been in the most dominant car in F1 history and just has struggled. And in this year, when the competition has got just a little bit closer, he has just folded, not even made it out of Q1. And look, we know he's not there for performance reasons. He's there for financial reasons. So is there also an identity crisis happening at Red Bull at the moment? They've got power struggles, which I think is still ongoing. They've got a team principle where half of them wanted him gone and half of them wanted him to stay. There's probably people working for him right now who just don't agree with him being management or the leader of that team after what has happened. Maybe that's why Nui and Wheatley have left. And then they've got they're suffering with performance out on circuit. So this that is happening off track is only maybe going to get worse and spiral more because they haven't got the performance and a dominating car and the results to paper over those cracks. And they could potentially end up without their lead driver, Max Verstappen, most likely going to be a 4-time world champion in a row. And they could end up without him maybe even as early as next year or the year after. I don't think it'll be next year, but 2026 at least. So I just think all is not well. You need to just look at the evidence. People leave bad managers, not bad jobs. And I'm intrigued to see how this plays out over the rest of the season as everything has got a lot closer out on circuit. We're going into each weekend not knowing who's going to win. And look, Max was a little bit more relaxed at Spa because of that engine penalty. It was more just limiting the recovery, so he didn't expect to win. But next time out at Zandvoort, when we head to the Dutch Grand Prix straight after the summer break, he's going to be expecting to win. And if that car is struggling and there's competition, you know that things are going to boil over, I think. And they've done well at keeping everything hush-hush and putting things to bed at the start of the season. But now, with this announcement of Wheatley moving on, it's starting to, and with the recent announcement of Sergio Perez staying, it's starting to show that all is not well at a team which we thought were going to dominate this year and continue that run of form that they had in 22 and 23, and even into the new regulation set. Now they are struggling out on track. I think they're struggling behind closed doors, and we'll see if there's any more personnel that are going to get up and leave Red Bull to other teams, because maybe now with this, other teams might look at an opportunity to pounce on some of the engineers and some of the staff that are within that Red Bull system that have helped make the car as dominant as it is, because of maybe a not so great working environment at the moment. But look, it's still all speculation until someone actually comes out and, I say, kind of guess, whistleblows in essence of what it's like working at Red Bull. Yeah, enough. We can only assume, but I just don't think it's difficult to read between the lines when you have two big key personnel in a tight-knit group that was Horner, Wheatley and Nui. Two of them have left in the same year, and the car's also not performing well out on track as well, and everything that happened. I just don't think it's difficult to read between the lines. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Really intriguing. This summer break is providing so much more than it did last year, that's for sure, and we're only a few days into it. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm intrigued to think, are we seeing kind of not the end of Red Bull, but are they starting to lose their identity? Are they going to struggle to kind of get back to that dominating car, back to the top in their current guise? I think personally changes definitely need to be made at the top, but yeah, I don't own 51% of Red Bull, but it's intriguing to see Red Bull fans also posting the same questions and starting to wonder what team they're supporting, because it's not the team that they initially started to support and the team that they know of now. So yeah, really intriguing, but also intrigued to hear your thoughts. So no doubt it won't be long until I make the next video in this summer break, because it's been absolutely crazy thus far. So until then, see you for the next one. Bye.